The front tuck from side position was submitted by Tisha Volleman at the 2021 European Championships. However, the Dutch gymnast fell during the qualification round, and the rules state the element must be successfully performed to enter the code of points. Therefore, it remains up for grabs. This acrobatic element from side stand consists of a salto forward tucked with takeoff from one leg to land on both feet, and will likely be given a D rating, 1/10 higher than its counterpart from cross stand. In 2024, China's Zhang Yihan made history by becoming the first female gymnast to nail a clear hip Nebieva in competition. The Zhang received a G rating from the technical committee, making it one of the most difficult releases on this apparatus. 3 years earlier, however, Sanne Wevers performed an even more challenging version at the Dutch Olympic trials. It consists of a clear hip circle with counter stretched to reverse hacked in a layout position over the high bar and a half turn to hang in mixed L grip. The Dutch gymnast fell on her first attempt but nailed it on the second. This inconsistency caused her to remove the skill from her composition before the Tokyo Games and focus on a safer yet cleaner routine. Sanne has not submitted or performed this element since. In 2021, Simone Biles rocked the world of gymnastics when she debuted a Yurchenko double pike in competition, which is now known as the Biles 2 and carries a 6.4 start value. However, the tucked version, which on paper should be slightly easier, is still not featured in the code of points. Multiple athletes have trained it throughout the years, but none have showcased the ability to actually take it to competition. It consists of a round-off back handspring onto the table, followed by 2 backward somersaults in a tucked position, and would likely be given a 6.2 start value. The full twisting layout step-out was performed by Betsy Ham in the late 90s, but given the American gymnast only competed domestically during her time in the sport, she could not have submitted it. Around 2016, Michaela Skinner revealed she had been training this skill, and it actually looked pretty solid. She never implemented it into her routine, though. During her 2020 comeback, Chelsea Memel was also working on this acrobatic skill. The layout step-out full would likely receive an F rating, and when executed in combination, it would give the athlete a 0.2 bonus. Chelsea also trained an amazing Piked Arabian on beam. She performed it in combination, which would raise her start score by 2/10. It's described as a takeoff backward with a half twist to a salto forward in a piked position, and would likely receive a G value, 1/10 higher than the tucked version. The American gymnast didn't take this acrobatic skill to competition either. The full twisting ray consists of a stalder backward with release, counter movement forward, and a full turn in flight to hang on the high bar, and was trained by Cynthia Rodriguez during the 2010s, but unfortunately the Spanish athlete never submitted it. This transition would likely be given a D rating, but since it is practically impossible to link to other skills, gymnasts may not gravitate toward it. Current trends and routine compositions on this apparatus favor Shaposhnikova type transitions, since they're easier to connect out of, and therefore earn extra tenths. Nonetheless, the full twisting ray would be a pretty cool addition to the table of elements. Candle mounts reached their peak of popularity during the 2017 quad, before a significant downgrade from a D to a C. In 2021, we saw the version with a half turn join the table of elements with a D value, but that one has also been downgraded in recent years. However, we could have seen an even more impressive version joining the code. Great Britain's Amy Tinkler was planning on adding a full twist to the candle mount before she announced her retirement from the sport. From rear stand, with the back toward the beam, it consists of a flick-flack with 360 degrees to candle position, ending in front support, and would likely be attributed a D rating, although an E value is not out of the equation. In 2024, Great Britain's Becky Downie revealed she was working on a new uneven bars release that could potentially become her second eponymous skill. The unofficial Downie 2 consists of a stalder backward with counter pike to reverse hect over the high bar and a half turn to hang in mixed L grip, and is an evolution of the Downie 1, which is essentially the same move minus the half turn. If added to the table of elements, both moves would be placed in the same box and share an F value. The Piked Grigoras on beam was performed by Sui Lu at the 2010 Chinese Nationals. It consists of a salto forward piked with a half turn, and would likely receive a G rating. She was planning on submitting this element at the World Championships later in the year, but failed to qualify for the beam final and ended up not performing it. She never attempted the Piked Grigoras in competition after 2010, but kept the tucked version, which she nailed 90% of the time. The Chinese gymnast retired in 2013. The double layout half-out off the uneven bars is being trained by Bulgaria's Paloma Spiridonova and Brazil's Ana Luisa Lima at the moment. It consists of a double salto backward laid out with a half twist off, and would likely receive an E value, 1/10 higher than the double layout. The mechanics of this new dismount are very much in line with the Biles 1 on floor, in which the athlete performs 2 somersaults in a stretched position and adds a half turn before she finds the ground. Performing 2 backward somersaults in a stretched position off the balance beam may be considered nearly impossible by many people, since it would take a tremendous amount of power and height to complete both rotations without piking the hips. Olympic champions Simone Biles and Catalina Ponor have both attempted it onto a soft surface. However, neither was close to actually landing it. Given the FIG only attributed an H value to the double-double dismount, aka the Biles, back in 2019, there's really no incentive for gymnasts to train such challenging upgrades, since the true difficulty of the skill isn't accurately rewarded in the scoring. The Endo-Jaeger was performed by China's Li Linjing in a domestic competition back in 2008. It consists of a stalder forward to a salto forward straddled to hang on the high bar, and would likely receive a D rating. American gymnast Lori Hernandez revealed that this was one of the skills she trained but never competed during her 2020 comeback. Italy's Carolina James has also played around with it, but as of 2025, no one has actually submitted it. Which skill are you most looking forward to seeing join the table of elements in the future?